Hello everyone, welcome to this series on American literature, and in this video, we will do a detailed analysis of the poem Let America Be America Again by Langston Hughes. Introduction. Let America Be America Again is a poem by Langston Hughes written in 1935 during the Great Depression and published in 1936. The poem expresses the speaker's disillusionment with the American dream, highlighting how it has failed marginalized groups in the United States. Hughes critiques the false promises of freedom, equality, and opportunity, arguing that these ideals have not been realized for many Americans, particularly African Americans, Native Americans, immigrants, and the working class. Summary. The poem begins with the speaker's call for America to return to its idealized version, a land of freedom and opportunity. However, the speaker quickly contradicts this nostalgic view, asserting that America never truly lived up to these ideals. The poem delves into the experiences of various marginalized groups, including poor white people, African Americans, Native Americans, and immigrants, all of whom have been excluded from the American dream. The speaker identifies with these groups and highlights the ongoing oppression and exploitation they face in America. The poem critiques the greed and selfishness of the ruling class, who profit off the labor of others while denying them the freedoms and opportunities that America promises. Despite the harsh realities, the speaker expresses hope that America can still become the land of equality and freedom that it was meant to be, but only through collective action and solidarity among the oppressed. Themes. The failure of the American dream. Let America Be America Again highlights the discrepancy between the ideals of the American dream and the harsh realities of American life. The speaker argues that the United States has not yet fulfilled its promised vision of freedom and equality for all people. Hughes wrote the poem during the Great Depression. The economic devastation of this event created a crisis of American cultural identity, which had been built on the promise of upward mobility and greater opportunity for people from all walks of life. The speaker emphasizes that the American dream has never been a reality for marginalized groups. He uses a sarcastic tone when referencing patriotic language, pointing out that there's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Oppression in the United States. In Let America Be America Again, Hughes analyzes the complex relationship between oppression and the American dream. The speaker presents a counter-narrative through the eyes of marginalized groups in American history. The speaker grounds the poem in the perspective of marginalized groups, including poor white people, African Americans, Native Americans, and immigrants, all of whom have had limited access to the economic prosperity and success promised by the American dream. The speaker highlights the shared experiences of these groups, all of whom have been denied the freedom and opportunities promised by the American dream. Greed, class, and labor. The speaker directly connects the failure of the American dream to live up to its potential to the American obsession with profit and greed. The speaker argues that American society is driven by greed and profit, not liberty and justice for all. The poem critiques the greed and selfishness of the ruling class, who exploit the labor of the working class for their own gain. This exploitation is presented as antithetical to American ideals of freedom and opportunity. The speaker calls for the oppressed to rise up and reinvent America, according to its powerful founding ideals of equality and freedom for all. The speaker insists that freedom and equality can only be achieved through collective action. Symbols. America. America itself is a central symbol in the poem, representing both the ideal of freedom and the reality of oppression. The speaker contrasts the dream of America with the actual experiences of those who have been denied its promises. The greatest symbol in the poem might be America itself. America is supposed to symbolize everything that is encapsulated in the American dream, and the speaker frequently refers to the conventional understanding of what America is supposed to represent: opportunity, freedom, equality, and so on. By the end of the poem, America is transformed into a symbol of failure, an example of what happens when a nation does not manifest its own founding beliefs. The pioneer. The figure of the pioneer is referenced multiple times throughout the poem, probably because of its important status in American culture and history. The speaker creates a connection between the original pioneers, who formed the first settlements of what would eventually become the United States, and the diverse group of people who have built America on the backbone of their own hard labor. The pioneer symbolizes the early settlers who sought freedom and opportunity in America. However, the poem critiques how this symbol has been co-opted to exclude marginalized groups from the American dream. Land. Land is a recurring symbol in the poem, representing both the source of wealth and the promise of freedom. The speaker argues that the land has been taken by the wealthy, leaving the oppressed with nothing. The speaker emphasizes the importance of land as the foundation of freedom and equality, arguing that the people who have worked the land and built America should be the ones to benefit from its wealth. Poetic devices. Anaphora. Hughes frequently uses anaphora, the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of lines, to emphasize key ideas. This technique is often used to create emphasis. For example, let it be at the beginning of lines 2 and 3, as well as I am the, which starts a total of 10 lines. Examples include the repetition of let in the opening lines, which underscores the speaker's call for America to return to its ideals, and the repetition of I am when the speaker identifies with various oppressed groups. Metaphor. The poem is rich in metaphor, such as the comparison of America to a dream that has not been realized. These metaphors highlight the gap between the nation's ideals and its realities. The speaker metaphorically identifies with marginalized members of American society, the poor white, the Negro bearing slavery's scars, etc. The speaker isn't literally all of these people, but is instead using metaphorical language to underscore that all these disparate groups are united in their oppression and exclusion from the promise of America. Imagery. Hughes uses vivid imagery to convey the experiences of the oppressed, such as the poor white fooled and pushed apart, and the Negro bearing slavery's scars. This imagery helps the reader visualize the injustices faced by these groups. The speaker uses imagery to depict the harsh realities of life for marginalized groups, contrasting this with the idealized vision of America. Rhetorical questions. The speaker uses rhetorical questions to challenge the reader and provoke thought. For example, the free? Who said the free? Not me. Questions the reality of freedom in America. These questions serve to highlight the contradictions and falsehoods in the idea of America as a land of freedom and equality for all. Alliteration. Alliteration, the repetition of consonant sounds is used throughout the poem to create rhythm and emphasize key points. For instance, "Let it be the pioneer on the plain" uses alliteration to underscore the significance of the pioneer figure in American culture. Structure and form. "Let America Be America Again" by Langston Hughes is an 86-line poem that is divided into 17 stanzas of varying lengths. The shortest stanzas are only one line long and the longest stretches to 12. The poem is quite interesting in its structure as the stanzas are inconsistent, with some of the lines in parentheses and some in italics. The first three quatrains generally rhyme AB, AB. However, as the poem progresses, the rhyme scheme becomes less consistent, with several examples of half rhyme such as soil and all in lines 31 and 33. Related poems. I Too by Langston Hughes. This poem echoes the themes of Let America Be America Again, particularly the idea of African Americans being excluded from the American dream. In I Too, Hughes expresses hope for a future where Black Americans are recognized as integral to the nation. The Negro Speaks of Rivers by Langston Hughes. This poem reflects on the deep roots of African American culture and history, tying the struggles and endurance of Black people to the broader human experience. It complements the themes of heritage and perseverance in Let America Be America Again. Harlem by Langston Hughes. Also known as A Dream Deferred, this poem explores the consequences of unfulfilled dreams, particularly within the context of racial injustice. The questions posed in Harlem resonate with the disillusionment expressed in Let America Be America Again. I Hear America Singing by Walt Whitman. While Whitman's poem is often seen as a celebration of American diversity and the working class, it contrasts sharply with Hughes's critique. Comparing the two poems can highlight the differences between an idealized vision of America and the reality of exclusion faced by many. Theme for English B by Langston Hughes. This poem addresses the complexities of identity and the intersection of race, nationality, and individuality. It can be read alongside Let America Be America Again to explore how personal experiences shape one's understanding of American identity. Conclusion. Let America Be America Again is a powerful critique of the American dream and the nation's failure to live up to its ideals. Through vivid imagery, metaphor, and rhetorical devices, Langston Hughes exposes the realities of oppression and exploitation faced by marginalized groups in the United States. The poem ultimately calls for collective action and solidarity to reclaim the true promise of America, where freedom and equality are available to all. The poem concludes on an optimistic note, suggesting that America still has the potential to bring its original ideals to fruition, but only if the people unite and take action to make it happen. So this was the detailed analysis of the poem Let America Be America Again by Langston Hughes. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other work. Until then, goodbye and thank you.